This is verse 7 of the 11th chapter, Gospel of Matthew. Jesus has just responded to the disciples of John the Baptist who had come asking him the question whether he was the one that John had predicted or was there another one who was in the pipeline. And Jesus has given them the assurances that he is indeed the one and given them the proofs in the form of miraculous signs that verified his claim. And now we have the follow-up here. So we have two-tone. This is a demonstrative pronoun in the genitive plural masculine. It's referring to the disciples as part of a genitive absolute. So these three words here, the postpositive de. Genitive absolute, it's referring to action taking time at the time of the leading verb. So peruomenon, from peruomai, I go. This is a present participle, masculine plural genitive. The two genitives together, of course, form the genitive absolute. So as they were going away would be the idea. Then the principal sentence begins here. Ergzato, from archomai, means I begin. It's the idea. It's a deponent verb. So Jesus began. It's the aorist. Third person singular, so the subject of the verb, ho Jesus, Jesus began, takes the infinitive, so we have legein, from lego, I say, Jesus began to say. Indirect object, tois oklois, to the crowds. Those who were, of course, observing this interaction, hearing both the question that was raised by these disciples and also the response Jesus gave, saying to them, peri, concerning, takes the genitive, Ioannou, concerning John. So Jesus now addressing the crowds about John. Te, interrogative pronoun, what? Exalthata. This is from erkomai, second person plural. Aorist active indicative, to go out, to exit. So what did you go out? Ace, preposition into, tain eremon, into the desert. What did you go out into the desert? Theosasthai. This is from theomai, means to behold. Derives, our English word theory derives from this. To behold something, to look at it, almost as if he was implying they were going out to behold a spectacle of some kind, like going out to see a show. So what did you go out into the desert to see, to behold? What kind of entertainment were you seeking? And then, of course, the question is a kalemon, a reed is the word here, kalemos. This has been tied to various forms of reed or papyrus that would grow in that area, which of course did not withstand either the water or the wind very much. They would flatten out with the least kind of pressure. So a reed, the descriptive participle here, is saluamenon. This is based on a noun, salos, which means a wave. And from that is the idea of shaking. So saluo is the verb that underlies this participle, shaking, blowing around, unstable, something like that. So a reed shaking, and then hupo, here with the genitive anemu, which means wind, a reed shaking by the wind. What did you go out to see? Were you expecting to see just some kind of flim-flam voice out there, moved by the simplest kinds of external cultural pressures? And obviously the answer was no. They went out to see a spectacle. They went out to see a man who was prepared to take on the greatest powers of the day, and indeed was paying the price for it. And so, as if to say, you shouldn't be surprised that John the Baptist would raise such a question as the one that you've heard from his disciples, because in fact he was a powerful personality in his own right, and the fact that he had the kinds of expectations that were betrayed by that question shouldn't surprise you at all. So Jesus more or less corrects the crowds if they had some kind of disparaging attitude that they were entertaining about John because he had raised that particular question to Jesus.